Hello everyone, welcome to Bebop Mondays episode 16. And in this episode I want to explore some ideas that involve the dominant bebop scale. The so-called bebop scale is a name that was first coined to David Baker, at least according to my Google search. That could be wrong, of course. He analyzed it as a major scale with an extra note. And where that extra note is, that is debatable, but in the most basic form, you add a flat 7 in between the 6 and the 7. So if we have a C major scale, right, we add a B flat right there. Now, that's all I want to say about the bebop scale, because this episode is not specifically about the bebop scale. It's more about how I use that principle. The main principle for me is that these three notes are a good description of C7. But if you have C7 and you play that, it's immediately clear. Now, you're not playing the third, you're not playing an E, but these three notes for me really indicate C7 as opposed to C major 7 or even C minor 7. Now, you could say, well, these three notes, they fit great on C minor 7. And it is true, but for me, when I see C minor 7, I usually think E flat major 7. And there is no C in E flat major 7. So even though this might fit over C minor 7, I usually don't play it. When I play this, it's usually on top of C7. And of course, these three notes are in that basic bebop scale. Now, David Baker wrote a book, which I don't have, in which he analyzed some solos by famous bebop players where he found this scale in their lines. What I decided to do was to go through my transcriptions, and I have hundreds of transcriptions, and do the same thing. Just find lines that use this cell on C7, but also have other notes around it, so that we can use this main principle of the bebop scale. At least that's what I find the most important thing about it, but then also have other ideas around it. And I have extracted 5 of these ideas, and maybe I'll do a series and I'll do a couple of episodes in which we explore this principle. Let's get started. First idea sounds like this. It's for C7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's happening in this phrase, it's a G minor arpeggio, G minor 7 arpeggio. And then we have a B flat major arpeggio up. And then we have this cell here. And this fits great over C7 or on top of G minor 7. So I decided to demonstrate all of this on Honeysuckle Rose, because that has 4 bars of C7 and then basically 4 bars of F. So it's a great song to practice this on. And the bridge is a 2-5-1 to B flat. And then we can play this on F7, and then we will be playing it here. And then we have to resolve to B flat. So let's do that. There's a backing track for that song on my channel, and there's a link to that backing track in the description. The next phrase, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. It's using the same idea of first a G minor 7 arpeggio, but now down and up. And now we have this cell, an octave lower, and again an octave lower. So let's play that on Honeysuckle Rose. I also used it in the bridge, and even though it's a 3-bar lick, you can still play it, and then I just resolved to B flat 1 bar too late, but it's a nice effect. Here we have a phrase that starts on C7 and resolves to F, so it's basically a 2-5-1 lick or a 5-1 lick, and sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The cell is in there, but of course it's more like a chromatic. But I still wanted to include it because it's just a cool lick. And of course we can play it in the bridge too, on the 2-5 to B flat, and then we would start here. Here's a super long phrase for C7. It's almost 5 bars, and it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of nice enclosures, and at the end we have that cell. I'm not sure about all the sources for the licks because I have these big PDFs with phrases and licks, but I didn't write the source. But I think I remember this being a phrase by Michel Petrucciani, the piano player. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. It's a bit tricky with the picking. I like the enclosure to the G. That part. Yeah, let's play that. Now that I play all these phrases, I have to say there's something to that descending bebop scale. There's something really swinging about it. It's easy to swing it. Something very fluid. So it's no wonder that many people like to play it. And here's a start for you to start experimenting with it. And if this video does well, I'll make more episodes exploring this concept. If you liked the video, as always, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. If you want to download the tabs, you can download them on my Patreon, and there's a link to that in the description. Until the next video, bye.